Here we go. And we're live. What's up, everybody? This is a special live edition of the Never Drop podcast. We're here in New York, Recon Social Club here inside Turning Stone Casino, previewing a big fight this weekend, a rematch, a controversial rematch between Oshaki Foster and Robson Conceicao. Again, rematch. We'll get into that a little bit. I got my man Dan here. Dan, let's talk about these fights right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's unbelievable that boxing matches are held here at Turning Stone Resort Casino, about 15 minutes down the road in Conceicao is the Boxing Hall of Fame. So you have historical, boxers from years ago, and having these new and up-and-coming boxers being able to fight at our home in Verona, New York, is unbelievable. So we're excited for this weekend, Saturday, November 2nd, to hold all these fights, and the crowd and to gather to enter our casino to watch, and it'll be a great time.
It definitely just feels natural. That fight should happen here with the Boxing Hall of Fame so close, and it seems like whenever there is a fight, the boxers themselves make their way over to the Hall of Fame. I saw Oshaki Foster post. He was just there, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Like, these fighters, it's a good time for them to see what they want to accomplish and eventually get into the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the energy levels that the boxers bring in, but yet the guests also feed to the boxers. It's a perfect match, and to see, like you said, to your point, where boxers have gone after fighting here, only motivates those that come here to get to that level.
And for fighters, a lot of the times, like young fighters, they're trying to build fans. And I think this is the perfect opportunity because, at least in this part of Central New York, you think of boxing fights, you're thinking Madison Square Garden or where the Brooklyn Nets, Barclays Center, excuse me. Not a lot of fans are going to make their way all the way 4 hours from around here to those. So I think for young fighters, it's a great opportunity, and for quote-unquote casual fans, if they want, hey, there's a boxing fight here on Saturday. Let's go check out who this guy is, and then that's how you make fans and build a strong fan base. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. We have, we're 40 minutes from Syracuse. We're about an hour and a half or so from Albany. So you have, two pretty large cities. You could get guests and fans from all areas.
Definitely. For this fight in particular, what are you looking at? What are you kind of expecting?
I just hope some shots are taken and some blows and just a good overall fight.
The sport of boxing is in a great space. Any other particular fights, maybe not this one, but in the future that you're looking forward to as a fan?
Yeah, definitely the rematch between Fury and Usyk. There was some, potential excuses on one side after the fight, so I'm excited. I believe it's December 21st or something like that. So,
were you rooting for a certain fighter in that fight? Be honest here.
I was a Wilder fan. So
hey, I'm in the same exact boat here. So I kind of enjoying a heavyweight fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, Fury Wilder put on a classic trilogy, and just to see the heavyweight division kind of boxing is a good place when the heavyweight division is in a great place.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, it's fun to watch, and then you got these light guys. We're talking about the Oshaki Foster fight, 130, 135, around those. These guys with their skill set, heavyweights don't necessarily have the skill set, say, footwork that the lighter guys have, but it's still always fun to watch.
Absolutely, yeah. I think every weight class has its extreme pros, and their techniques are just unbelievable.
If you're somebody coming to Turning Stone for this event, what should you be on the lookout for?
Well, I think obviously the fight itself, but the resort as a whole just has so many different amenities, and there's always something to do for all people alike. Just enjoy your time here, and if you have the opportunity to come down to New York Recon Social Club and see what we have to offer here, and obviously check out the fight if you're able to.
Do you have a favorite thing on the menu here?
Everything.
That's
Food is good.
That's the greatest answer right there.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed talking to you.
It's a pleasure.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
That was Dan talking about the fights, kind of the atmosphere here at Turning Stone Casino. We're gonna bring in a special guest here. This is a heavyweight prospect, Ali Feliz. He's going to come in and just talk about it. He's fighting on the card, right? He's getting ready to fight in 2 days. It's Thursday. He's getting ready to fight. They had the press conference today. Showtime now. Ali's going to make his way over here. Ali, he's 3-0. Again, I'll talk to him about he just started his professional career back in April. So he's making his way fourth fight of the year. It's been a great time. Man, Ollie is in the building right here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Excited.
So I was looking at it. You turned pro this year. This is your fourth fight. How are you feeling? It's a lot on the body. I mean, this is your fourth fight in 7 months. How are you feeling?
I'm using my youth. I'm still 21, so I'm using my youth and staying focused and ready for the next one.
It's crazy to me. I'm also 21. You're 3 months younger than me.
Yeah.
Guys, this guy's 6'2". Like, we don't look the he looks like he's a full-grown man.
Yeah.
Are you feeling confident in the heavyweight division? Everything's feeling good?
Yeah, for sure, man. I trained really hard for this fight, and I'm excited to fight here at the Turning Stone. Crazy.
You're from Connecticut, correct?
Yeah.
How do you like fighting on the East Coast? Is it a lot of fans coming out? I know you've had a couple fights on the East Coast. Friends, family make the trip, or how is it for you?
Yeah, I always got a couple of people coming up. I fought at the Garden, and then fighting here is even more amazing.
You talked about friends and family. Awesome story. Your brother's also a boxer.
Yeah.
Older brother. Talk to me about your relationship with him. How was that?
Yeah, my brother's a beast, man. We always trained together since we were young. We always moved around. He's an older brother, so he always pushed me. But yeah, it's good. He couldn't make it because he's going to the Tyson Fury fight.
Yep.
So, but he's gonna be missing this one, but it's all right.
When you say, is that your hardest critique? Do you guys give each other the most honest advice back and forth? Like, if you see something, you're like, hey, you could fix this, and same way with him.
Yeah, you have to, man. You got to be honest with each other, and that's what helps us out. He helped me for this camp. He helped me for all my camps. I'm young, so.
3 fights in, so on the East Coast. You had one in Corpus Christi, correct? Was that your professional?
That was my pro debut.
How was that? How was that experience? How were you nervous going into it? How'd you get rid of being nervous? Just walk us through that experience.
I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous. I was super nervous. I knew I had the victory, but I was very nervous, man.
What was was there a final decision that you said, okay, I'm done with my amateur career, I'm gonna go pro, or was it just kind of the right timing that got you into that decision?
It was a time, I won the Olympic trials, I won all the tournaments you could think of, and so they had somebody in the spot to go to the Olympics, so I was like, hey, let's do it, man. It was time.
How is it being an amateur? I know we talked about fourth fight, 7 months. What's your schedule as an amateur? Is this kind of still, professional fighters are fighting once, twice a year, but as an amateur, I'm sure you're fighting countless times throughout the year. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's more calm now. You fight 3-4 times a year. In tournaments, you fight 3-4 times in a week. So it's crazy. It's a whole different ball game. But that starting in the amateurs and going through those tournaments is what prepared me for moments like this.
This is the first fight, potentially 6 rounds. You don't want it to go 6 rounds. Any difference in training for that?
I did, yeah. Okay. I did a lot more conditioning, pushed it a lot, pushed myself a lot because I know I'm stepping up to 6 rounds, and I don't know, maybe it won't make it to 6 rounds.
Right, hopefully it is.
But we're ready for it. We're ready for the 6 rounds.
Manager, Jay Prince, correct?
Yeah.
So I know he's in Houston. Do you train in Houston, or is it mainly in your hometown?
Yeah, I usually train in my hometown. My first fight, I trained in Houston. I'm gonna definitely go back there. There's great people over there, great energy. So definitely.
How'd the connection? I mean, for a young fighter, that's huge. Jay Prince. We'll talk about kind of the stable of guys he has there, but that's huge to get that backing. How did that come about?
So I was at the Olympic trials when I won the Olympic trials, and he saw me the second fight that I had there, and he fell in love, and we locked in, and it was up since then.
How do you like Texas when you go down? I'm from Texas, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I like the vibe. I definitely want to go back.
One of the big guy, figuratively and literally, is Jared Anderson. Yes. Do you have a relationship with Jared? And if so, is there any advice he's given you?
Yeah, we were training there for my pro debut. Was under his card.
He was the main event for that one.
So we trained in Houston together, and we did some whole bunch of rounds. He's a great dude, man. He's a beast too. So.
I'm looking forward to his comeback. Tough fight a couple months ago, but I think if there's one guy, he's unfairly been criticized for some things he said. That's kind of the mode for boxing. Social media, they're gonna say things. For you as a young fighter, how are you getting your name out to different people?
Just it's social media, like you just said. That's the biggest part, and just be staying real. Being real. I don't put up the front. What you see is what you always get. So
What were some of the fighters you were watching when you were growing up?
So my dad was a pro. He was a pro heavyweight. Obviously, watching him. Holyfield, I liked a lot. That's one of my favorites. And Tito Trinidad.
Okay, yeah.
Trinidad. He's a beast. I love to.
Have you had any legends reach out to you in your early career yet? Any, or just like in passing, talk to you?
Not yet. Well, but definitely soon. I got to make a name for myself.
Definitely.
So that's what gives me the motivation.
You're on the right path so far. Talk to me about this fight in particular. What are you looking to do when you get in that ring? Obviously, not giving away the game plan, but for you, what are you looking to do when you establish yourself in that ring?
Just stay calm. Don't, the knockout. If the knockout comes, it comes. If not, then I get the experience of the 6 rounds. So whatever happens, we're ready, man.
Do you feel as a heavyweight, it's a little more pressure to get the knockout? Because I feel like that's when people think of heavyweights, it's slugging it out. So
not really. But I like to get my guys out of there.
Definitely.
So
you also have some boxing skills to show on there. You're all around. Any predictions for this fight in particular? What are you looking?
Let's go for a stoppage, man.
I like that.
I might go for the stoppage for this.
What about the main event? Any predictions?
That's a close one.
What was your opinion on the first fight? Have you seen the first fight?
I was there, yeah.
Yeah, you fought on that card.
Yeah, I fought on the Shakur card. I don't know. I was still going from the back.
Right, definitely.
But I heard it was a robbery. I don't know. I heard it was a robbery, but we'll see.
Hey, I mean, best man wins now. Any predictions for that?
I don't know. I say Foster wins this one. They do a third one.
Why not? Right?
Why not for the fans?
For the Shakur fight, how was that? Have you? Same thing. He's under Jay Prince. Have you guys been able to talk at all? Like, what do you have in a relationship with him?
He was in Houston also.
Right,
he was in the camp. He wasn't getting ready for a fight, but he was there every day. A guy, he works hard. It's motivation for sure. Seeing somebody at that stage still going to the gym every day and working hard.
I was gonna say it's just good to surround yourself by people at that level because that's one level you want to reach. Of course. Definitely. For your career, what are you looking for? Like, next 3 years to 5 years, what are you trying to accomplish here in boxing?
I want to be world champion, man. I want other belts, the heavyweight division, and just make a name for myself. Put on for my city and make a legacy.
Any fighters today you like watching, or even watching, or that you look at and say, I'd like to implement something from their game?
There's a lot of great fighters out there. But, Tank is obviously a beast. Tank's a dog. A whole bunch.
Yeah.
Hard to pick.
I was just talking with Dan about Usyk Fury 2. You have an opinion on that one?
I don't know, man.
What do you think about the first one?
The first one was crazy. Usyk's a dog. He's put it on for us short heavyweights. So I might have to go with him.
Short heavyweights. This guy is taller than me, about 4 inches. So I would take that short. Anything else for the fans that are seeing you for the first time? What should they expect to see?
Yeah, just tune in. It's a great show. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to show some boxing skills, show some power, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
Definitely. Alec, please. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Nice to meet you. Best of luck. He's going to be fighting third fight, around 7:20 Eastern. Look out for him. Heavyweight prospect, 3-0, 2 knockouts. Looking for that third knockout, that 4th victory here at Turnstone Casinos. We're going to kind of take a look at now the fight itself, the main event. Oshaki Foster versus Robson Conceicao. I'm going to move over a little bit, kind of center myself. That's it for the guests. I enjoyed having both Dan and Ollie here. When it comes to this rematch, we talked about the controversy. This was a fight that a lot of people thought Oshaki Foster won. A lot of people thought so. Robson Conceicao ended up getting the decision. Personally, I had it 10-2 in favor of Oshaki Foster. This is going to be interesting from the aspect of who's going to change their game plan. Is it going to be Oshaki Foster, who, of course, did not get the victory? Robson Conceicao got the victory. Is he going to say, I'm going to push the tempo, get in the trenches, per se, and go for the knockout? We've seen Oshaki Foster in the past get knockouts, but he's not necessarily a knockout artist. He's not one of those fighters that you look and say, he has knockout power. He throws combinations and can hurt people, but he doesn't have that one-punch knockout power. And Conceicao took his punches really well, but he was getting hit flush, throughout the fight. When I talk about it being a robbery, Conceicao only landed 11% of his punches. He was aggressive. I'll give you that. He threw over 250 more punches than Foster, but he wasn't landing. That's the biggest thing in this fight. Conceicao wasn't landing while Foster was, and having crazy good defense. Foster said post-fight, hey, you're penalizing me for not playing defense. penalizing me for having great defense. How is that my fault? That's a part of boxing, and the judges just did not see from the defensive standpoint for Foster. Hey, Conceicao's not landing. Yeah, he's throwing a lot of punches, but he's not landing. He's getting blocked. A lot of his right hand's getting blocked with the left hand. We're gonna see. I don't know. Conceicao, from his standpoint, while everybody thinks he lost, the three people, granted the two people, because it was a split decision, that think he won were the most two important people. The judges. The judges thought he won. He got the split decision victory. So does he change his tactics, or does he still apply that pressure that's going in, whether he hits Foster or not? I think that's the biggest aspect here. For me personally, I think Oshaki Foster is going to win this fight because I thought Foster won that first fight handedly. I mentioned 10-2. If I wanted to be the nicest guy in the world, I talked about this in my preview on the channel. I thought the nicest guy in the world, it would be 8-4 Foster, and that's just giving Conceicao some rounds that he really didn't win. So I think Foster's going to have great defense. Again, I mean, that's one of Foster's main points in his game. That was before this fight. We knew he had good defense. He showed great footwork, just finesse and elusiveness that I didn't know he necessarily had because he hadn't looked the strongest in his previous fights. That fight, he looked, everything was clicking. Guess what? The judges robbed him on that one. He get his chance for revenge. He gets a chance for give back for Oshaki Foster. And again, this is for a 130 title. This isn't just two guys coming up and, oh, it was a bad decision. This is for a title at 130. You can see it makes a difference because you get unifications. That's how you build the brand. You get fans here, and you build a brand by getting belts at 130. 130 is not the greatest division in the world, overshadowed by the greatness of 135 and the fighters there. But at 130, Oshaki Foster is one of the top guys. He gets this belt back. He can make some unifications with some of the fighters. It'll be a good time. I'm excited for this fight. I think a lot of people that are attending are going to be in for a treat. Also, on the undercard, Raymond Mortaya, he's a guy that you don't want to blink or else you might miss something. 21 wins, 16 knockouts. I'm saying if you're coming to this fight, you're a turning stone. Make sure you get here for that undercard, for at least the co-main. Get here for Ali Feliz as well. He's going to put on a show early on in the night, but later in the night, Raymond Mortaya, he's a guy. Got a very close decision against a farmer brother earlier this year. At 135, he's a weight class above Oshaki Foster. At 135, his name's getting mentioned with a lot of these fights. Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, William Zepeda, Keyshawn Davis. I think the Keyshawn Davis fight, that's the easiest to make and one of the best to make, both on Top Rank here at ESPN, with ESPN. I think that fight would be incredible. Two young guys. They've had a back and forth. I think that would be incredible. For Mortaya, I think he puts on a strong performance here. He's talked about it. 2025, I'm getting my title chance. He puts on a strong performance here, which I think he will against Jesus Perez. I'm going to be excited to see what his options are for 2025 because a lot of fighters are still saying, hey, he hasn't proven too much yet. Didn't get the knockout his last fight. He gets a knockout here against a tough Jesus Perez. I saw his last fight against Jojo Diaz, just a dog fight between the two. Hey, I think it might be time for Mortaya to kind of finally get those title shots, and well-deservingly so. So if you're here, come to the fight. Make sure you're not only here for Oshaki Foster versus Robson Conceicao, also here first Jesus Perez and Raymond Mortaya. Boxing is in a great space. We talked about some fights coming up next week. Jerome Boots Ennis, also on a card with Bam Rodriguez. 2 pound for pound. Bam already on the pound for pound top 10. Boots, he's getting there. 2 fighters. You don't want to miss that. That's in Philadelphia, but a week later, November 15th. This is a big one. This is a great fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. This has been one of the biggest sports spectacles talked about all year. It was supposed to happen in July, was postponed, happened November 15th. Where else other than Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where they're going to try to sell that place out. There's going to be close to 80,000 people in there to watch Mike Tyson, who, hey, Mike Tyson's 58 years old, Jake Paul, 27 years old. I guess you can contrast the two as the fact, hey, Mike Tyson, one of the greatest boxers of all time, and Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer. I guess that's how you can look at that fight to negate the ages. But that one's interesting because for the longest time I was thinking, hey, Tyson's so old. I don't think Jake Paul's good at all, but I think the age, it's just too much to handle. A lot of the training videos Mike Tyson has been putting out kind of swinging me back over to his side. Personally, I'm not going to make a prediction just yet. I got a little bit of time to make a prediction. I'm excited to watch this fight. And if you're here in Central New York, you can actually watch this fight here in New York Rec and Social Club, as they're going to have a watch party here. Again, this is a Netflix event. They're making this free. Come out, New York Rec and Social Club. This is a great place to watch any sporting event. I'm sure we're obviously here in New York. I'm sure it was going crazy for the Yankee series. As a Yankee fan, that sadly did not go our way, but I'm sure that was insane. For the fight here on Saturday, it's going to be rocking. If you don't have a ticket, come out, watch the fight here, and then 2 weeks later, come out and watch the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight here. We don't know what's going to happen at all in that fight. That fight is, hey, Mike Tyson might land a punch in the first round and knock Jake Paul out, and Jake Paul might quit boxing, or Jake Paul could come back and outbox and tire out Mike Tyson and beat Mike Tyson. We're stuck with Jake Paul for a little while longer. I know a lot of boxing fans themselves are sick of Jake Paul, but that might be a real opportunity. Either way, make sure to enjoy that fight. If you're here in Central New York, come out to New York Rec and Social Club for that watch party. That's going to be a great event. Netflix's first live sports event. So the production, and with it being delayed, I'm sure production is going to be A1. You want to watch it here, people going crazy. There's nothing like sporting events. So back to this fight, if you can't make it out, watch it with people here at a bar. It's going to be a good time. Boxing, there's no other events like boxing events. Those 10 minutes, I talked to Brian Campbell earlier this summer. He put it perfect. Those 10 minutes, and when they're announcing the fighters and they're walking to the ring, some of the greatest 10 minutes in sports. And then, of course, the fight. Quickly, before I wrap up, looking back at Foster versus Conceicao 2. It's going to be a dogfight. The first one, I'll say it wasn't the most entertaining fight necessarily. As a boxing fan, I loved it. A lot of people in the crowd were booing for, I don't think, no good reason. I think they didn't appreciate the defense by O'Shaquie Foster and the punches he was landing and countering with. But personally, I think this is going to be a really good fight because I think Foster's going to say, I'm coming to get the knockout. I don't necessarily know if it'll be immediately. He's going to download some data. He's going to box from the outside and use his footwork. But I think he's going to get inside more often than he did the first fight. And I think he's going to have a great fight. Again, I thought he won 10-2. I've said that multiple times. I'm going to continue saying that. I thought he won the first one, and that's one of the reasons that boxing has kind of deteriorated in popularity. It's because of these decisions. But thankfully, Foster got the rematch and gets the opportunity to get back and get his revenge. As this is going to be a great fight. Conceicao for him. How is he going to react? Is he going to change up what he did? I think he has to. I think he has to be. He has to throw more combinations. Can't load up on one right hand. Load up on one right hand. Foster's getting out of the way of it or blocking the shot, which he did in the first matchup. So Conceicao has to switch up his game plan, in my opinion, if he wants to be successful in this second fight. It's going to be interesting. The storylines write themselves. We're at the press conference earlier. Conceicao said, real champions don't run around. Foster said, okay, I hope you had a good training camp, because Conceicao said, this is my best training camp. I was injured prior to the first one. I'm going to prove I really won that first fight. Foster said, I hope it was your best training camp, because I want no excuses when I come and get that belt back at 130. It's going to be a great night, November 2nd here at Turning Stone. Come out, New York Rec and Social Club. Watch the fight if you're not going to the fight. Try and go to the fight. It's going to be a great atmosphere. If you can't, make sure to watch the fight here. I appreciate being able to do a live podcast here. Thank you for the guests, Dan, Ali Belize. Make sure tune in, come out, support Ali Belize. Right now, the fights are going to be on ESPN Plus, so make sure you have an ESPN Plus account. Ali's going to be on 7:20 Eastern. That's kind of approximately scheduling out when he's going to be fighting. So make sure you turn on the TV, see him. Again, he's a young heavyweight prospect, and in the sport of boxing, we need another American heavyweight prospect. We talked about Jared Anderson. He took a tough L. He'll be back. Why can't we just make the heavyweight division full of Americans? Jared Anderson, Ali Belize. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you come out to this fight. Thank you for everyone tuning in. New York Rec Social Club here in Turning Stone. It's going to be a great event. Thank you for the hospitality. I appreciate everyone tuning in, listening, the guests, Dan, Ollie, everyone reaching out here at Turning Stone. It's been awesome. Until Sunday, make sure you like, subscribe to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I already posted videos from the press conference. Videos from the weigh-in will come tomorrow, and then obviously Saturday night, plenty of videos of all different fighters from Fight Night. That's all I got for you today. Again, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's going to be a fun night Saturday night. Boxing's in a great place. We got some great boxing fights lined up afterwards. It's going to be a great time. That's all I got for you today. Peace. I'm out.